Hi, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Tally the Vote, the show we do right after the live Big Brother eviction. And as always, I'm Christy, and I'm here with my friends, David and Jamie Joe. How are you guys?
I'm stressing out a little bit. I'm watching The Wall,
Okay.
and
I
I'm not
too,
liking.
am watching the feeds, and I just watched Matt take a meatball to the Johnson, and that's gotta sting.
That's my favorite order at Subway.
So you guys don't feel bad about staying here and talking and chit chatting with us. They're watching the feeds and they'll keep us up to date so we can just get all our feels out for the week and talk about all the
Oh my God,
hits and misses.
What a week! What a week! What a week!
Yeah.
So we had people flip-flopping, which is not new. Like, that's not new with this crew. We flip-flop 30 times a day when it's a Wednesday, right? But this week there was like
the first time the flip has actually held.
Yeah, this is a real flip. This was
It's also the first time it wasn't initiated by Cirie.
Yeah. It was not a flop of a flip.
So before we get into the flip and the flopping, question for you, first of all, from what you guys saw, do you believe the way that they edited the Cirie-Izzy relationship? Was Cirie really you're part of the family? Is that really a thing? I mean, she said it, but
I definitely think so.
I believe it on Izzy's side for sure. I think Izzy would have sacrificed her game for Cirie.
I believe it
kind of did
100% on both sides.
But I'm not so sure that Cirie wasn't kind of telling her what she needed to hear,
because
even after she knew she was leaving.
This is why, though. But this is my argument to that point. Cirie has been doing these games for 17 years, and in all of her DAs, confessionals, relationships that she has formed, including a few close ones, none of them have been like with Izzy.
Right, and that's weird to me. Like, really?
I think she really, really, truly does care and love her. Yes.
Here's what's interesting. Do anyone know what day it is in the house?
44?
No, according to Twitter, it was day 39, but maybe
I was going to say 30-something.
Yeah. So, ironically.
Oh, the 39 days. Oh, you mean old Survivor?
Survivor, good Survivor.
Good Survivor. Yeah, not edited, abbreviated Survivor.
Yeah, now we're going to do 90-minute episodes with, 26 days. It'll be lovely. Moving
on. So I just want to, before we get too into it, I just want to say that I was a doofus and I forgot because I had mom stuff to do today because we have big senior pictures coming up this weekend. So we had some running around to do, and I was like in my head going, I got time. It's not on until 8:00 Central, and I forgot it was on an hour late. So I did miss the first 40 minutes. So you guys will have to fill in that. But I also want to give a big, I'm really sorry because my daughter's friend, Chris, hi Chris, he literally said, what time are you guys recording tonight? I said, same time as always. So, just don't listen to me.
Don't listen. It's
so sorry, Chris. Anyway, huh?
I'm thinking maybe Rose says it's 43 days.
43. Yeah. Because I feel like I saw something that was like day 44 is like historically chaos day. And
it's like the perfect storm when everyone's just at that point where they're trying to see where the cracks are. They're starting to see where there aren't cracks, who's too tight, and yeah.
Well, and then today, which I'm sure we'll get on a recap, like on the Recap Sunday show. There was no time for the editing team to get on this today.
Oh, no question.
But we had like a 5-alarm argument going down between Jared and Corey for a good hour and a half, 2 hours in the have-not room. I mean, we're talking about raised voices, yelling at each other. Eventually, more and more house guests came in.
An awful lot of profanity.
Just a little bit of cussing, a little bit.
Corey became a real man today, didn't he?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, he did.
Spoiler alert. Meek Hole is out.
Ooh. Oh, see,
Oh
I
man,
thought
you
she had
guys.
a too. Okay,
That's
well,
my girl.
um,
So
She's flying under the radar. Is what she's doing.
we are dealing with some. This is going to be interesting, guys. This is an
So-
interesting group to have
I-
up there right now.
and you
I
know
think we
what?
should-
When the argument started, you posted a link in our Facebook group. Tally the votes. If you guys were there, you guys saw the link that Jamie's referring to of them dropping many, many bad words.
Before we talk about the argument, why
Okay.
don't we talk about kind of the beginning of the week, which
Okay.
is okay. Let me
They're so
start by
discombobulated.
saying,
Okay.
I loathe Cameron. I loathe the fact that he named his hair. I think he creeps on the women,
Okay,
and
so
he wore a top knot. And finally, he selected the Eagles' greatest hits as his HOH music. The fucking Eagles. The
and
guy's like 38 years old, and he's picking 50-year-old marginal elevator fucking music.
he's a
I don't
space
get it.
cowboy. He tries too hard. I will say this, and you will like this, David.
Try again.
I didn't like it. You disappeared.
Sorry.
Try it again.
Magic. As you'll like this. As I was watching last night's episode, Mr. Christie came out and he saw what I was watching and he said, "Oh my God, how is that guy on the show?" And I went, "I'm sorry, who?" And he goes, "Him. Isn't he in jail? Didn't he just get 25 years?"
It does look a lot like Mr. Dan.
I was like, yeah, he does kind of look like Danny Masterson. So in my house,
That's-
I cannot unsee it now.
That's
It's
funny.
been a
But
running joke with us
but-
for the week as well.
Oh, has it?
as
Yeah.
much as I can't stand the guy, I have to say in a lot of ways he started the game. He started the season. Because up till now, Cirie was just doing what she
Yeah.
wanted, and everybody was doing what Cirie wanted.
Well,
And he-
but the only reason he did that was because he's been up so many times.
But he
Yeah, he had
figured it
some-
out. He figured out that they had no loyalty at all to him, and he figured out what the Core Alliance was doing. So, as much as this wasn't his move yesterday and today, and it wasn't, he sowed the seeds for it by making the nominations he made, which were pretty freaking bold. He
They
could
were,
have done
yeah.
a half measure. He could have done Felicia and Jag. He could have done a lot. He could have done Blue and Jared. There was other ways. I mean, he went
But
right
he-
to the heart of her
But he
alliance.
did exactly what you should do. You should always pick a trio, put up two, and then that third one can be the back door. And then you just don't care. You're breaking up a group of three. And for him, that was smart.
Here's
Oh, this
my
is awesome.
here's my
Jared is covered with green goop and looks like a fool.
here's my one real issue with Cameron's move this week. Because I did appreciate the fact that the game was now rolling. I wanted to see alliances come apart and there actually be two sides. I'm done with the steamroll. Let's move on to the next part of the game. Thank you, Cameron.
Yeah.
Except the fact that for whatever cockamamie reason, he had convinced himself that Jared was still his buddy
Yes,
and
exactly.
spilled his entire game to Jared. Now, at first I thought, oh, look at how slick he is because he lied and said what he was going to do is something he didn't do. And he kept it from production, I've heard as well. Like he just kind
Oh.
of kept it in his pocket because he didn't want anybody to get any wind of it.
That's pretty
Great.
good.
That's fabulous. Great gameplay. That's good. However, when you think Jared put you up. He literally
Right.
just put you up. Why do you think he's good with you?
Yeah.
And then you tell him, and of course, you know, Cameron doesn't know. It's easy for us to say this because half that house guests don't. But it's like you are literally telling this guy that his mom is your target.
Right.
Like this is so sticky.
But,
It is
but
so
that's
sticky.
that's eventually what did him in with Cameron, because when he didn't go along with Cirie as the replacement nom, he figured out he put it as Jared's working for Cirie. I don't think he put the family relationship.
No.
together.
Right. No.
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 But I'm a little bit I was like, you know what? Okay, you say what you will about him, but the fact that Corey had to point out, or America had to point out to him, Nobody congratulated you on your win. Do you wonder why that's happened? like America's sitting there having to spell it out like you were the target, not Red. No, you were
Right.
the target.
But he has convinced himself that he was the pawn last week.
America's playing a far better game than I think we've given her credit for. She's very aware of where the players are on the field.
Because the only screen time she gets, the normal screen time she gets, is her
Kissy
showmance
face.
with Corey. That's
It's
it.
the
They're
kissy
not-
face. Yep.
Well, look, it's better than the screen time Nicole gets, which is none.
Not wrong. Yeah.
And
But-
Bowie Jane didn't have in yesterday's hour and a half or 2 hour episode, didn't have a single diary room.
Well, she's going to get to have one maybe after the fight today because she did get to raise her hand and say, I've stayed in the same alliance.
The alliance of one.
The alliance of
Australia.
Bowie Jane. You know, the problem is Bowie Jane's aligned with George from AU Survivor.
Exactly.
He's just not playing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Like, I
effing
have people
Bowie
I can
J.
trust.
Thank you. And, spoiler alert, we have another one down. It is Jag.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, also, I just have to ask right now. They had him on TV tonight without his turban on. What was that about? I thought he's not.
Occasionally,
Well, I mean, he's living in the house.
occasionally,
He doesn't
though.
wear it 24/7.
Occasionally you'll see him without it. I did get to watch a nice, clip, not a clip, but he was like, trimming his beard
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
washing his face the other day.
When I saw him doing that,
doing a little tweezing on the eyebrows, keeping them separate.
I saw some of that, but he had his turban on when he was doing that, or some sort of hair covering wrap thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the rules
It just
are.
surprised me because I know he says all the
He
time how
looks
important it is, how important that is for him. And then
Yep.
I thought, like, yeah, you're living with them, but they're still not your family. They're still, and there's still cameras. So I didn't know how.
Yeah, I don't know what all
I
the,
mean, I don't
the rules
blame
and
him
boundaries
because
are on it.
I think that would be hard, but then again, that's not something that I do, so I don't know. Yeah.
And that looks
Well-
like it takes a few minutes to put on. It wasn't like
Sure.
it's not like
He's
my
still
wife
on
does that thing with her hair and the towel y'all can
Listen,
do
David.
that no guy can do.
You might
But-
not know this, but when you have long hair, it takes a lot to put it up,
Yes, it does.
and
Does
it's
it?
heavy,
Indeed.
and it's
Okay,
hot.
okay. I can be forgiven for not knowing the politics of long
Unless-
hair.
Oh, I know.
Unless, of course, you're Cameron, and then it's just easy because you're going in for the kill. You're going in for the kill. You're gonna murder the thing, and oh my god, I'm sorry. Can we talk about his HOH edit and like how creepy the whole entire thing was when he was talking about going after Suri? Like, this is the creepy vibes we're talking about. Like, he's not just putting on a show for DR. This is literally how he communicates his feelings.
And how about the off-the-shoulder pig outfit? I wasn't digging on that either. That was a little weird.
A little goofy.
Or
Strange.
the pig chest hair, where it was just like,
Yeah,
oh.
and with one shoulder.
Like,
down.
no,
It was-
pigs don't have that. Sorry. So do you think that him and Izzy really, because they seem to be generally happy when they were done doing that task, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, I wanted to ask you guys a question about that.
Yeah.
He couldn't play in the HOH anyway.
Right.
He and Izzy didn't get along. I would have said, kiss my butt.
Yep.
I can't play anyway. You're on your own, girl. You
Right,
picked me.
you
You
could've
put me
done-
in this freaking pig outfit. You're an idiot. Go
Yeah.
move your own.
I'm
business.
just gonna sit here. I don't know if they're
What I
like.
would have done. I would have gone in the house and said, I'm not doing it.
I don't know if they let you though. If you're picked, you have to do it. It's a punishment.
No,
It's
it was just her. It was just her punishment. It wasn't his.
Right? And she chose him
Right.
out of spite.
But don't then the rules also apply to him? Not the can't play in the veto, but
No,
'Cause
they
he seemed
basically
to
said if
mimic
you don't.
having
They basically
fun.
said if you don't
No,
do it, you don't play in the
because
HOH.
he said he commented on it and he said that it's her punishment, it's not mine. I don't have to do
when he's
this.
throwing dirt at her.
That was funny.
Being a little bit of an
But
ass.
maybe, you know what? Maybe deep down there's a gooey center because he knew she was probably going
Ew,
home.
ew, let's not talk about Cameron's.
He knew
please.
he knew she was going home, so maybe he thought, like, I don't want her to be sad that she can't play in the veto next week. It's not going to matter because she ain't going to be here. but maybe he just didn't want her to be like super down or something. I don't know.
So let's
Maybe-
talk about Cameron's plan. Cameron's plan was that his goal is to go after Cirie, but if he couldn't have Cirie, then he can remove those that surround her, right? That
Right.
keep her
Well, no,
safe.
I think he would. I mean, he would have liked to have gotten Cirie, but I think he was just fine taking either one of them out,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
which
'Cause
was
it-
actually a really smart play.
Yeah, but
So-
you know, the smarter play would be to look at those two and say either can go. It doesn't really matter. But of the two, which one actually might be playing a game? And
Well,
I think
that's eventually what he did.
Felicia's playing more, but she's won more things than Izzy
Yeah,
has.
but Izzy's a better player. Izzy's more social. Izzy had friends like
With-
Corey and Izzy were.
Sure, but I don't know. I just feel
Yeah.
like
And here's the thing: Felicia's 60 years old, and
Yeah.
60-year-olds don't win Big Brother.
right.
So statistically, you take her,
Yeah.
you keep her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm afraid that I would have. I can kind of see why he didn't put up. I can kind of see why he chose who he chose, because if he would have had Cirie up before Vito, and let's say okay, he put up Izzy and Cirie, the best chance of somebody in their core group of winning would be Jared. And then he could have taken her down and kept himself safe because he was the one who won it and took her down. Then what? Then what? Then you put Felicia up there.
Yeah.
And then you have Izzy and Felicia.
Yeah.
So he would have I feel like either way he probably would have ended up with the same grouping, but I don't know. I you know what? If you're gonna stir the pot, stir it all the way. He should have thrown Cirie up there.
So if he hadn't told Jared that it would be Cirie, okay, he didn't know. Jared had no clue it was going to be Cirie. Does Cirie use the veto on one of them?
No, he'd have been suspicious.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
think?
he wouldn't have used it.
He
He
wasn't
still
gonna
wouldn't have
use it
used it because okay, if he had been in the house by himself without his mom there, maybe he would have used it. Like, let's say he was trying to protect Blue. Let's live in a weird universe where Blue was the target. And so would he, yeah, I could see him risking it. The reason is because he wouldn't have the sound voice of his mom saying that's a stupid ass idea.
Right, calling him out.
Yes. And I think Cirie being there, not that it's mom, not that that's who he has to protect, but just her voice saying, no, that's a bad idea because
A
then
voice
this
he
would
trusts
happen.
that he knows
He
is not going to be
is
your mom.
single-handedly destroying Cirie's game.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and his own. He blew his own up today.
Well, his
like,
own
that's-
game is gone. No one likes him. He's a bully. He's mean.
Well, let's scroll through since
Hang on.
We got
Spoiler
someone down?
alert. Spoiler alert. There are 3 left.
oh yeah. Mhm,
3
mhm.
players left on the wall. So
Matt?
cover your ears if you don't want to hear them. They are Queen Bowie Jane, Blue, and Jared. So we're all praying for Bowie Jane to
That
hang
is
on.
not
What
that
a
is not who I expected.
what a disgusting outcome. Okay. Like
I
let's
can
go
live with
Bowie.
Bowie
Come on.
Jane because
Let's
you know
go
what's
Bowie.
great about
Let's
her
see
is
what
you have
she's
no
got.
idea what she'll do.
Okay.
I do. She's gonna listen to Cirie and then do whatever she wants.
Now she won't.
I don't know who she would listen to. That would be the interesting thing. Who could? It would almost
I
be
think
like
she'd listen to Corey. I think she's got a little Corey.
It-
thing going.
Maybe Cam. She might listen to Cam.
it
She'll
would be
listen to Cam.
she would listen to Cam. I think it would be a situation where it would be whoever could make the best argument, right? To her would be the one. It would be like one of these games of like who can convince her, you know? And that'd be funny.
Somebody else just came down.
This very, very long list. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I there's not as many great likable characters. I hate saying that. People this year, players. Yeah, it's really hard. I don't really have super crazy affection for any of them yet. Still,
I'm gonna be really honest
and we're
with
in
you.
the
As
day
far
40
as game
usually.
as far as gameplay goes, just strictly based on gameplay and personality, I don't have one person that I'm really rallying behind.
It's like
As far
maybe-
as as far as people I like, Izzy was way on the top of that.
Oh yeah,
list.
me too.
Nah, she's too much.
But
of a
here's the
spaz.
thing.
Oh,
But here's
First
the
2
thing.
weeks, she was awful.
She
Not
wasn't. She
boring.
wasn't. Like, here's the thing. Okay, let's
Something
look at
must
like.
have happened because we got.
That's why I
stars.
said somebody else was down. There's a winner. Like I think we have a winner.
Oh, they cut a deal, right?
Probably. They could have cut a deal with
Bowie
Bowie.
Jane
And like
fell,
safe.
then like it didn't matter, right?
No, not really.
Jared should, after winning the veto, he doesn't win the HOH. Jared.
Well, okay, I'm sorry, but Jared didn't actually really win the veto. He got
Oh,
third
oh,
place. And
who's
no one
the
took it
legend
from him.
now, Mom?
Yes. Yes. Oh
Okay,
my God.
that's worse than naming your hair. I'm sorry.
But David,
Yeah.
to your to counter your Izzy game, here's the thing. Izzy may not have been top-notch player, but she was always playing with a ton of heart. She tried to be involved in everything.
Oh
she
no, I
possibly
think that's
could be.
very true. Very true.
And I
And she
think the
wanted to
biggest
play
thing-
and she loved the game. I'll give you that.
I think the biggest thing with Izzy, honestly, is you look at a show like Survivor and put it next to a show like Big Brother, and the most defining difference, the real defining difference, is that one has the live feeds.
Yeah.
And for those that are
That's the limit, man.
watching the live feeds, Izzy gave life. Like, I mean, like, she was in every conversation. She had friendships with pretty much everybody in the house. She was funny. You know,
Yeah.
she occasionally she had to be talked back down a little bit because she did get a little bit winded and high wound, but
she wasn't
And
as
at the
annoying.
end
as
of the
Brittany.
day,
Come on.
she was not capable of cutting a deal against Jared Suri
Uh-oh.
to stay in the house, and you have to be capable of
Right.
that. Oh, we have dogs, cute dogs. There were cats earlier, which offended me.
got the cute puppies. It doesn't really matter because the cute puppies are only here bringing bad news. It's Jared, guys. Jared won.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long freaking week.
That sucks.
Well,
But-
we know.
It's
So
gonna be
who's
a
he gonna
long
target?
women hating week.
America and Corey are going on the block. Period. Point blank.
I'm not going to repeat it, but did you hear what he said to Blue?
Yes.
It was very gross.
It's gross. It's very gross.
We're not. Well,
It's even
I've
too much
said-
to say on here.
I used the C word last week, and I will not repeat it.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
So give me a hint about what you can blank out the words, but what
He
kind of
just
thing?
basically said he was going to fill her up.
Yeah.
With,
But like more descriptively
like
disgusting.
much more descriptive than that.
But like vilely.
At the gasoline pump.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was
So-
gross. And moving on.
It was disgusting. Okay.
They have a
So-
real future, those kids.
Real quick, what I want to run down here, and this way, Chrissy, you can kind of see the trouble that Corey and America are probably about to be in. Okay. Right off the bat, I'm just going to give you kind of the breakdown of the edit that we got tonight. I can't confirm this was the exact order of every conversation, and I don't think it really matters at this point. Suri makes it pretty clear that she wants to keep Izzy, but America decides that she wants Izzy gone. There are reasons for this. It's not just today. This is kind of how Izzy messes up her game. She lets America know that her vote doesn't count. It's not needed. America's been watching this core group for weeks and has been saying for weeks, we need to go after these guys. This was the straw. Like, it was kind of the straw.
Which is
So-
too bad because he was trying really hard to get in with her and Corey.
Yes. So she decides that she wants Izzy gone. She tells Cam, and that's when she lays it all out for Cam. Like, you were the target. This is why they weren't cheering for you when you won HOH.
That's why.
And yeah, here's this alliance. This is happening. These
And
conversations
she was
have been
brilliant
had.
in that conversation.
Yeah, she knew exactly how to meet him at his level and get him to see what she was seeing. And then America talks to Matt. They find out that the whole Matt and Suri and the saving Jag move and all of that. Corey's upset because he didn't know half of this information, and he realized
And
like
he doesn't
okay,
want to go against Suri until
Right. And he's like,
Initially,
I'm
he's
clearly
opposed to this. America's pitching it, and he's not on board.
right. And Corey's like, but once Corey gets this information, then he starts to see the light because he realizes where he is in rank is a lot lower than he thought where he was. Izzy tells Corey about the 7 deadly sins. Then there's the for real alliance. All these alliance names start popping out. Everybody starts chatting about all these alliances. And then Corey and America talk to Jag. They get Jag convinced to flip, which is really funny in itself because he's so risky because he can't lie. He can't lie. Like his upbringing, his like who he is as a person. You know what? Like he's probably an awesome.
Yeah, I want to play. I want to play
know?
poker with Jag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Exactly.
like you know that people lie on this game. How did you?
Yeah,
you
he's a great guy. But this
Unless-
is not the game for somebody who's like, I cannot tell a lie.
Or you just tell everybody that and then you just lie to him. Am I?
Well, and it's so hard too because he can't. It's not just even that he can't lie. It's like
He's bad at it.
as soon as he sees somebody, he just like vomits the truth. Like
Wow.
he's just not great at it. So, but they do get Jag convinced, like, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to flip this. Izzy needs to go. That's like there's way too much power over there. None of us are included in this power. They're duping all of us. And Jag's like, oh my God, yep, I see it. Here's this instance and this instance, and now I'm starting to actually understand.
And once Corey laid out the 7-person alliance that he was in with them, and Jag wasn't, Jag went, oh, I see.
And
so
then
they're
they
protected
go,
on
Once
both
they
sides.
start comparing notes, it gets super messy.
and they knew that they had to have Jag in order to convince Matt. They knew Matt was going to be a really tough cookie to flip and that they needed Jag. So Corey went in and started talking to Matt about all of this yesterday. And I mean, he was laying it all on forever. I mean, he was talking to him forever.
What was his
laying
best
out
line,
everything.
though, Jamie? Tell us what his best line.
I can't remember.
Corey looked at Matt and said, you know what Riley would want you to do.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. So perfect. And yeah, he goes,
brilliant.
he goes, you know, Riley would really be rooting for this like small alliance to take it out. Like we're the, you know, and he's like, yeah. And so Jag comes in and they work on Matt and they get Matt to flip. And then and somewhere along the line, they've got Mimi too. They've got Bowie Jane. They're picking up all the numbers left and right to do the flip successfully.
And Bowie Jane was upset too because she thought she was, you know, she said it all makes sense now because I didn't know what happened last week.
Yeah. And then they're telling
And I
her
was
like,
left out of the vote.
hey, you know how you're kind of catching a wind of like people saying some like not so nice things about you and whatever. And they're like, do you know who's saying it? It's Cirie, it's Felicia. Like they're the ones starting this. So now the like funny hen cackle shit talk sessions have come into roost, and Bowie Jane's like, I'm gonna go over here now. Like I knew like she was already kind of buddied up with Cam, but she knew that she was buddied up with Cam because they kind of pushed her in that direction. Like she never felt like she belonged in that group. So now
Cam is safe, probably going to be safe this week.
Yes, he probably is. He had a fantastic week. Cam had the best week in this house so far, honestly.
Yep. Yeah, and nobody's looking at him now. They're all fighting with each other.
Yep,
Right.
Everybody is after each other.
So
And
many
so-
of those alliances.
Here's what's brilliant about what Cam did. Well, what Cam did is he set it up with the nominations, and then he sort of sat back and let Corey and America do all the shit stirring.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, realistically, it's not just a matter of letting them do it. America had to point it out to him.
right.
Well, no, but I'm saying once he knew, he wasn't really
took
active
care of the
recruiting
business.
people.
Right? He didn't have to do anything else. His job for the week was done.
Yep.
So now you have this whole, everybody is starting to kind of talk. The energy's starting to shift. Cirie is like clocking that there's a little difference in the energy because that's her psychic ability in these games.
Yeah.
So she is
And
kind
she
of talking
realized
about it.
nobody was looking at Izzy. Nobody was
And-
looking at her when they talked to her.
Yeah, no one was making them.
And then there's Matt, and Matt's thinking for whatever reason. This is how you can. This is where you see people who are fans of the show and people who haven't watched the show until they're in sequester. Because Matt's like, well, I think I'm gonna like maybe let Jared know that I like that the numbers are changing, so he's in on it, so that because remember, this group that's talking they still haven't put together that Jared and
Part of
Cirie
that
are
group.
related,
Right.
you know. So
Or that he has any kind of loyalty to them. Yeah.
But that's, I mean, it again, now look at the HOH. I mean, who we have for HOH is going to shift this game back into his own. But today, after Matt had kind of talked to Jared a little bit, Jared, he felt like something was up. So he kind of tried to do the like rabbit season, duck season with Matt and sort of get Matt to fess up on the numbers. But so he thinks he's great because he thinks he got Matt to fess up on the numbers. But realistically, Matt is already talking about kind of letting him in on it. Anyway, so there's
Well, he
this
did
whole,
though. That's what started the fight.
So
He
there's
lied
this
to
whole,
Matt.
so there's this whole discussion about everything, and then these things start to come to light. Long story short, it leads to Jared and Corey confronting each other
Well,
on all of
it's
the
important that,
truths and mistruths that have been
right,
happening.
but it's
this
important to
week.
point out what Jared did was actually smart. He told Matt that Jag told him about the plan.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Jag had not said a word.
Right.
And so it started Matt and Jag and Corey fighting.
But if they
And
go
it
and
took-
ask Jag if he says it,
Well, they
he'll
have
say
almost a day
no,
to figure
he's
it out.
not lying.
But okay, here's the thing that comes to head in this argument. And then Jared, they say it, and then Jag's like, no, I didn't say it. And basically everything was outed. And then Jared had the audacity to tell Matt, well, you misunderstood. And it's like, oh, there's another point of not an awesome person, Jared.
Did you just tell the person who's legally deaf that they misunderstood? That's
Yes, indeed. He did, in fact. So this argument was going on for 2 hours this afternoon in the Have Not room. And there was a lot of raised voices, and Corey finally saying, like, he raised his voice because he got angry enough. And it was a great counterpart, though, because Jared's like, you have to stop yelling. And he's like, you've been yelling for 40 minutes. Like, dude.
Do you think they'll do a montage of that at the beginning?
Yes.
Well, they have
I
to-
Because
definitely
here's the
think
thing,
we're getting
Christy.
it.
This was going on at like 6:00 Eastern, and they were going live
All
at
the
8.
way
They
up.
didn't have
All
time
the
to
way
edit
up.
this stuff in.
If you go back and you watch just to the scenes
Oh,
tonight
yeah.
where they're
They'll
getting
start
ready to
Sunday
vote.
out with 2 hours before eviction. They
Yep,
love
yep,
doing that.
exactly.
Here's what happened that you couldn't see.
Right. I think that'll be the first 20 minutes of Sunday.
Yes, I agree. If you look at like Corey, it's really funny. Somebody got a screenshot of it when they were sitting there tonight getting ready to vote. And Corey and Jared are sitting next to each other, but Corey is pushed up against Blue like so
They're like
much.
leaned away so far.
He's like almost on top of Blue because there's there's this gap between the two of them. Like, and Corey just looks.
That seems a little unnecessary. Is he afraid Jared was gonna like?
I just think that their body language is just speaking.
I get it to like
volumes,
lean away, but to be like, that's a little.
It's clear. Like I could imagine very easily that like if they were sitting next to it and there was any space that Jared would have made it clear like don't touch me, like like they were that mad at each other.
Do you think his noms are going to be Corey America?
Yes.
Well,
absolutely.
or is it going to be America, Bowie Jane, and then go after Corey as a backdoor?
I don't know how they
so
would.
he couldn't play in the HOH or in the veto.
I'm not. I am not certain how he will put his original noms up, like the first nominations.
Yeah,
but I will point out it won't be Nicole because no one's talking about her. She is floating a brilliant floating game right now.
And that's just it. Like, am I impressed with her game? No. But I am impressed with her very stealthy float game. I mean, like,
Well, I don't
it's
think
still
we're
a
getting.
game.
I don't think we're getting enough edit of her. She's definitely getting the ignore edit. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a few times that her and Corey have talked and they kind of like share their thoughts and then they agree and then there's yes and okay. But she's not really doing anything. She doesn't really have to. So I'm not like saying, oh, poor game. She doesn't
Well,
have to
here's
really
the
do
thing.
anything.
She's sitting in this situation, and it doesn't matter to her who won because no one's putting her up. No one's even thinking about her.
Nope.
So she's final 6 without even trying.
Well, yeah, and like that gets us
You mean
back to
you
our
mean jury at
Yeah.
7.
Jury at 7.
Jury.
By the way, I applaud the old school move. Jeff Probst, are you watching, you freaking moron?
Hey, you know what though? Here's the deal. There is one benefit to, I mean, it's not really a benefit, but there is one benefit to Jared getting HOH tonight.
And
Next week is double eviction.
Yeah,
And he can't
can't.
he'll have
Next
that could be
Thursday or a week from Thursday.
Thursday.
So it's going to be his eviction and then one following it.
and then a fast forwarding one with that he can't.
Yeah, the fast one. The clown shoe. It's going to be a clown shoe.
Clown shoe. Yeah, the Humiliverse this week was. I didn't like it. It's so awkward. It's so cringy. But speaking of cringy.
Okay, can we stop with the bathroom humor? This has been a good enough season with a good enough cast. And even if it isn't, there's been enough controversy.
I'm telling
enough to
you,
edit. We don't need the fart jokes.
You guys, I'm telling you, all the poo-poo jokes and the bathroom humor of the last 2 seasons confirms my suspicion that this is where the the Survivor interns go. This is the internship. Like, these kids are like 20 years old, 19, 20 years old, wet behind the ears. Like, I know, let's make jokes about how these guys are smelly.
It's like they're calling JP, going, "What should we talk about on the show?"
JP,
Talk
our
about
producer.
farts and pooping.
And then how come? And then they have Josh Duhamel on. Hawking his show that started at 9. That's the only reason he's on.
who's aging a bit. I noticed.
Oh yeah, I mean we all get a little older.
He looks a lot like the guy who plays Raylan Givens.
Yes.
Oh,
Very similar.
He's getting that Oliphant.
What's the actor's name, Jamie?
Timothy Oliphant.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's on, but he's on during the Humiliverse week. So is
Why
he
not?
excited for being on there?
Did Matt really think he was going to spend the week with
because-
Justin Bell?
Because Matt's a recruit. Because Matt doesn't watch the show and understand.
Right, so Matt, because otherwise he would have taken the vacation, right? Why wouldn't you?
But then when he goes and does his diary, he tries to play it off like I took this.
Well, at that point he was.
You
he
didn't know it was a punishment. Ding dong. Why would you take the vacation or the $5,000? I mean, give me a break. I mean, he didn't want the veto, but you could have taken one of the other awesome prizes.
Yeah. Well, he could have. There was $5,000 he could have taken. I'm just saying.
How interesting was it that because of that punishment that Jared could not talk to his mom? They could not talk to each other without Felicia there. That was kind of that worked out really well.
It's also kind of funny because Felicia sort of thought that punishment was keeping her from being able to save herself. But realistically, that punishment actually saved her.
Yeah.
And that's like, okay. And I wanted to note one more thing while we were talking about Felicia. Did either of you, well, I guess you caught it later. David, did you notice her possible eviction speech? Did you notice something that she said at the end of her eviction speech? I'm gonna do a little shout out to our YouTube host here, Crazy Hank. At the end, she dropped a theory of how this game was gonna go, and then she said,
my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, she dropped
Nice.
my theory.
Call out to the great Jack Gladfelter, who's been saying that as long as I've been listening to him podcast.
Or podcasts in general.
I immediately thought, like, is she a Losty? Because if she's a Losty, I'm gonna root for her more now.
Well, as a matter of fact, would it be fair to say Jack's been saying that as long as there's been podcasting?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
I
is.
think-
I
nearly
actually think that's true.
Nearly,
Okay,
yeah.
enough. I don't want him to get a big head because he's
Let's
bald.
not-
It'll shine. It'll
He's
get
Let's
Listen,
not give him
He's
the
a
power.
pioneer.
He is.
He's a pioneer at the
It
pleasure
is
ranch.
indeed. It's true. It's totally true. So, what do we got here? We got Jared for HOH. God,
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
the one thing I'll be interested
this show
to see
is
this
so.
week-
The show has this way of where it just like there's so many moments in it, right? In this show where it just like makes you feel like
Oh, the worst thing that happened in this,
so
this and this
great.
happened. Like, yeah.
yes, and like the
What are
last 20
the odds? Ugh, of
the
course.
last 24 hours has been so much fun. It has been so much fun watching these guys scatter back and forth.
But that's
trying
not going to
shift
change
everything
because
up.
just one HOH is not going to put the genie back in the bottle for
No.
Suri and
Oh, there
Jared
are-
and
No,
Felicia.
I don't think that that's going to change. But what I'm talking about, like this gift of Big Brother, is that you get 24 hours of just watching this insanity, and then you get a
You remember
fight.
that?
You know, you
Yeah.
get this fight. You
How
get to
come
watch
nobody
this
goes
like
away to the-
this whole big fight thing happen, and there's like so many emotions everywhere, and you're so excited that you forget until you get to the live show at night that like, oh my god, this whole thing comes at the cost of losing one of my favorite people in the house.
Yeah.
And then to turn around and have Cameron winning last HOH and now Jared winning this HOH.
Yeah.
It's like this show punches you in the face so many times.
Yeah.
But that's what's great about it. I mean, what's great about the show is the back and forth, and that's why it's good to have two sides. If it's a
Well,
steamroll, it becomes very, very boring. As much as
Yes.
I like the cookout, it was a steamroll.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I
Now,
could
the
never-
characters were good enough that it stayed interesting. But
Yes,
Yeah.
it still was interesting.
when
Yeah.
you've got Tiffany DR's
That was-
Tiffany's
wasn't
your
it the
soul,
season-
you know?
correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't that the season that I predicted the winner of the first episode of our podcast? I believe it was.
Xavier, yeah.
Mhm.
Why are you had it up? Is he in it?
This?
No, I was talking about that.
The nether region.
Um,
That's
but-
the nether region.
That's-
What happened to the nether region?
Do you know that Corey getting pulled to the nether region left him as the only remaining person in that group of people? Like he's the only one left in the house. The nether
But
region.
why is there no more people being pulled to the nether region?
Well,
Why?
because we're not in the scary verse right now.
So
I
if
think
there's
there
when
will
the
be.
scary, what will this week be? Or did they say what this week was?
This is the comic verse.
That's right. Comic verse. Okay. So, are we going to get, is it too soon to do the comic? What's the difference between the comic book characters? Will that be the veto
That's
this
going to
week?
be, that'll be the
has-
second time.
Yeah,
you can't
maybe
do that
that's
with this
not
many
that's
people.
not a short.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say,
not a
is it
short.
yet
Mhm.
still?
Yeah, because
Huh?
that's not a short comp.
Yeah, because
No,
what they're
it's
doing
not-
is they're cycling
No,
through
but
the
they
four
still only-
verses, right?
But for veto, they still only pick 6 people for veto. But yeah, that's on that if they did it for veto. No, you don't.
Oh, they
think so.
could do it for veto, I guess.
Yeah, it would fit the theme is all, and that's my
Yeah,
daughter.
but the veto needs to be something that production can try to pick who they want to win.
Because it can't be Hotep this week.
Mm, you don't think so?
For comic
What-
book, I mean, maybe
If they can do it as in a comic book, no. I feel like if they're gonna do him, it'll probably be for the scary verse.
You could
Doesn't
put
it
him.
feel like
You
the
could
scary
put him.
verse?
You could put him in a cape and a.
I mean,
usually
come
there's
on.
like a
He's been a
water element.
clam. He's been a clam. He's been like the hippie guy or whatever
I
that
do
was.
have
God,
to say, I do have to say, Zingbot is going to be epic this year.
There's a lot of zings to be.
it would have been
I
nice.
mean,
if
the
Fox
zings
came
against
early.
Jared are just going to be brutal.
I hope. Just like that's all I can hope. Probably not. It's probably in a contract somewhere that they can't do it. This guy.
So what I'm really interested to see this week with Jared's HOH is, will he get a letter from his girlfriend? I think he's got a few things to say to him.
Didn't he shout out?
Seven-
Didn't he shout out to her tonight?
Yeah, 7
I mean, he's
years.
literally sleeping
Guys.
with another girl on TV.
7 years? Did you just say 7
7-year
years?
girlfriend. 7 years. This isn't like a 5-month girlfriend that he's taking a break from while he goes on
Okay.
television.
I knew he had a
7
girlfriend, but
years.
7 years. How old is he?
I don't know, in his 20s, 25.
25
7 years at that age is like, that's their whole life.
It is. I know. It's yucky.
It's like
Something,
it's like
something
the
tells
old
me it
man
isn't
on
the first
Up
time he's
dumping
cheated.
his wife at the very end. What a jerk.
He said that to Blue. Did you see that, by the way? He asked
Oh,
her if he asked her to marry, if he asked her to marry him on the finale night, what she would say. And she you know what her response was? She said, I would say yes right now.
And that is why we
That's
don't
what I
like
thought.
Blue. That's why we don't like
Kitty,
Blue.
kitty, cat, cat, kitty,
Like,
meow,
and
meow.
all of this, like, listen, girl, what girl? Me, girl? You can't be talking to me. You couldn't
Okay.
possibly be referring to me when you, hey, girl, because I'm not listening. You're crazy.
Hey, so you know this whole kitty cat thing she's gonna go in, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm rewatching The Sopranos, and I get to the episode where Adriana's trying to be a music thing, and you remember the whole cat thing?
It was like a theme. It was the theme of
It was the theme of the song.
It was like rip off of Josie and the Pussycats, but like
yeah. And I just every time they said meow, I went, oh my god. And it's so cringy to watch.
This is such a tough one. This is, I don't know. I don't know how Corey's going to do.
So
I can't imagine that you get this wall comp and Jared wins it. I'm sorry, guys. I need to hash this out loud for a second because.
Well, how does America fall out early unless she didn't want to?
This is the walk. Well, for one, they weren't just hanging on; they were getting hit in the face with like a ball and paint, and there was like air being blown at him. Is this like a Helen got pushed moment? Is this another one of those? Like,
well, I don't know.
Helen was pushed,
right?
Okay, how many like classic like wall builds do we have? Do you know what I mean? In this house right now, like classically, the people who do well in the wall have a specific build.
They're usually
but the meatball wasn't that build.
Yeah, but like somewhat small.
More
right?
So flexibility is a good thing to have in this. So you can kind of.
You would have thought Miko, America, or Blue.
I really thought
absolutely.
this was. As soon as I saw what challenge it was, I said, "Oh, I think maybe this might be America's to win." And I was really hoping.
Even Corey, I thought even Corey stood a chance in this one because we did have James win it, and he's the same build. Like in my head, of course, because my head always sets me up for disappointment. In my head, I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we had like America and Corey there at the end, but neither one of them were willing to just jump and they had to work out a deal with each other? That would be funny.
Okay. I really thought that Matt might have a chance only because of his super powerful shoulders. And I know that backwards grip on the wall is really like holy. So I thought, he's got to have Matt.
And that wall, I feel like the wall dips down a little bit further than it used to.
They don't want it to run as long. It used to run for hours, didn't it?
Most of these endurance comps ran for hours.
Right. And
part of what was so great.
We're an hour post the show right now. And
it's over already.
It's way over. It's been over for 20 minutes.
If they want to sell live feeds, you need endurance competitions that last a long time. That makes
I don't know why they wouldn't have let this
making it shorter is
why not just wait an hour and a half to start tipping the wall so people would watch the live feeds?
You know what? I don't know because it's CBS and they like to break our heart, and that's just what
I think they just want to go home. I think, honest to God, I think production is just like, this is like what happened with Survivor. Everything is done for the convenience of the production company.
But
it's
maybe
not about
we're
what's
wrong.
good TV. It's not
they
about.
They would have the metrics, so maybe we're wrong. Maybe they get more viewers watching when people are talking game, and so they don't want them out of the game talk time.
Oh, I don't know. When they were doing that hand on the button, man, the chats that were going on about the live feeds, they had their numbers.
Well, and also because it was the first time that they had done the pressure cooker, and that was one.
And to be fair, live feeds being available on Paramount and Peacock has been damaging to some of this, I think. I'm grateful for it, but I mean, like live feeds used to be like $20 a month. And now they have it for like mega cheap on a platform most people already have to watch
You watch
other
it on
shows.
Pluto for free.
See?
I watch it on Pluto. There's an app for
So-
your phone.
Right. And so I think like there's like no reason for them to push those live feed things any further. Like, what's the point? Like, there's no
Buzz
more
for the
money
show.
in it. But like I said, I and imagine too that like the person operating the wall, it's just like some old guy with a cigar with a crank who's been doing this for 20
And he's
years,
just like, just like slow.
Get these
You'd
kids
be
out of here.
amazed
I
the
want to
stuff
go
that
home.
The stuff that goes on. Have you ever been to Forum Shops at Caesars?
No.
Okay, well, it's a mall, and they have this big animatronics show with flame effects. And there is a guy, and his entire job is to hold up a button with the flame effects and watch it. If a kid or something gets too close, he's got to let it go and turn off the flame effects. And that's literally what he does during the.
So
like,
what you're
8-minute
saying
show.
is that he would have done amazing at the pressure cooker, and that he should
Yeah.
be in Big Brother.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So let's go around to all of these places. Go to Vegas. There's got to be some people that are working hard in Vegas that would kick ass at this. Historically, cocktail waitresses from Vegas have done very well in this show. I'm just saying. It's
Is
a
Rachel
thing.
a cocktail waitress in Vegas?
She was, yes.
Okay,
she
see,
was.
that makes perfect sense to me.
So
She'd like,
was
Vegas, baby.
so was Janelle. So
I like
was
Janelle.
Portia. Yeah, there's a few of them. There's a few. So, yeah, maybe it's a thing. They have to bring in some of that, Vegas magic. Stay up doing endurance all night long. I don't know, guys. I'm just so sad. I'm so sad. This so anticlimactic of a day.
To me, what makes it makes the game great because we were on the top of the world for a minute, and then now you're like, oh.
But this is why I have to
But here's
pay
the thing.
extra for extra therapy appointments when this show's on.
But here's the thing. I still kind of want to see Cirie do well.
I do too, but I want her to do well without her son there.
Well,
I don't
but
want
here's
there
what's
anymore.
interesting is if the two
I had to cut the
sides
cord.
become equally strong, it'll be a great end of the season.
Yeah. I mean, let's hope that this week isn't a complete dud like you're feeling right now. I hope that there'll be some more of this continued conversation. There are fences that need to be mended, or at least things that probably need to be hashed out, because people are going to try and turn back around on Jared and try to make amends. Those who think they're on the outs.
And that's what I mean. I have this very sick feeling that Matt and Jag and maybe even Bowie are going to just completely flip back over into the Cirie and Jared pocket with Felicia, and Corey and America are going to go out. They won't even stand a freaking chance. I don't see the wheel and dealing being possible.
But you never know. I hope they listen. Corey's
I hope
smart.
I'm super wrong. At the end of the day, one of them will still be in the house. One of them will still be here.
What is Corey studying?
Debate, right?
No, he's on a debate team.
Well, he was using his debate skills today, man. He was killing it in that room.
No, he was, and I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And if what I suspect is that Miko, when she has to, is going to start playing, this could be really interesting.
Now, remind me, Nicole's the one that got married 1 week before the show started, right?
No.
Yeah.
It was the first girl that was voted out.
Riley?
No, it wasn't Riley. There was one girl before her, and I can't remember her name because she was there for 4 days.
No. It was Luke and then Riley.
No, it wasn't. I keep telling you that it wasn't. Because she...
What are we going to be like at Day 100? We're not going to
Jamie's very confused.
No, I'm not. I'm going to tell you. I'm
Go
not
to the
confused.
wiki.
I'm getting up the cast right now.
Why don't you just go to the wiki? It'll tell you right away.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. What do you think I am? What do you think I'm a novice? I just have DSL. It takes a second.
Whoa.
Well, get out of the sticks.
Cool.
All right. Here we go.
Sticks.
You know, that's a quote from Pulp Fiction, by the way.
Is it?
Kirsten.
Yeah,
It was
Wolf says that.
Kirsten. Because
Was the
Luke
new
got
one?
kicked out. Then there's Kirsten. She went before Riley. She was the one that just got married. And they were like, because somebody said something about her needing to
she
go
was kind of
because
awesome
they were
too.
right. And somebody had said something when they voted her out. Like they were just like, I'm tired of listening about her wedding. So she's the one that went home and yes. But she played a little bit too fast right off at the beginning, and that kind of screwed her. But she would have been really fun to keep watching because I think she'd have been spicy in the game.
You know what's amazing? Who was evicted before Red?
Riley?
Without
No.
looking.
Was it Riley?
No, it was Heisem, but it feels like he's been gone for a month.
It does.
Oh yeah.
It
Yes.
does. Because he has been. It's been almost a month, right? I liked your question that you posted on our
Nicole,
Facebook.
political.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Political science. The question that you posted
Consultant.
on our Facebook page the other day, the Tally the Votes Facebook page, when you were asking about who would, if it weren't for Suri, who would be running the House without this team of Suri and Jared?
And you said Heisem, which I thought was kind of a cop-out because he's gone, but of the people left...
But he wouldn't have been gone if it hadn't been for the Suri and Jared.
But of the people that are left, who do you think would be running?
America, possibly.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think America and Corey are running it now.
Yeah. Well,
I
they
think
were
they
a
were
hour
up
ago.
until about 40 minutes ago. Yes. Yeah, it's a tough night, guys. Lost Izzy, so the feeds are going to be just me. And then now Jared's going to be all like super pumped about himself.
Well, no, because Jared is going to be such a jerk this week. It's going to be stellar TV.
He's always a jerk. I'm tired.
I get it,
of
but he's going to be all like, I've won 4 things. I am the master of Big Brother, blah, blah, blah. He's going to be hateable.
my mom might be a legend at Survivor, but
Right. You can hear it.
Right. Goodness.
did you guys notice that Corey's mustache is coming in just a little bit more?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Do you think do you think his ability to get angry and use 4-letter words this week was the effect of like becoming the man?
Yeah, holding on to that testosterone. He's not shaving it away into a garbage can.
He's
Onto it.
becoming stronger every day. Thanks, America.
His hair's getting a little fuller and fluffier thanks to Izzy giving him the drying powder she uses for her hair.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
coming
did kind of have a similar hair thing going on, didn't
She
they?
did dress him a few times and then laugh about how she dressed him like a lesbian, and that made me happy. And that's what we're gonna lose without Izzy there.
Oh, geez, that's hilarious.
No, is she the last gay contestant?
Yeah, because it was her and
Her and
Heisem.
I don't know. I mean, some of the characters, I hate saying that. Some of the folks could still be like bisexual, and like
some pan.
Well,
I would be. You know
that's
what?
been the greatest thing about the new casting is that used to be a big deal. Like if you had a gay character, now it's like you don't even think about it.
I wonder.
there's
I
so
would
many.
say there might be a good likelihood that Baloo might go both ways, but I don't know.
She feels like she
seems-
maybe.
yeah.
But
She's
maybe
fine.
not now because her new boyfriend
well,
won't
open.
allow it.
She's got a whole kitty cat thing going, so I'm not.
He's
gonna make
already
that
got a
joke.
girlfriend. She don't have a boyfriend.
Okay, but you know what? Let me just because I'm gonna dog one more time because I'm a salty, bitter bitch right now, and I'm gonna dog
You
on
really
Jared one
are.
more time. Is that he said to her this week? They were talking about like their flaws or whatever, and he's like listing her flaws. And then she's like, well, if you have one flaw, it's probably that you're just maybe a little bit too petty.
And you're listing my flaws, you dick.
And then he goes off on her and he goes off on her as like, well, I told you when we first started talking that I have a tendency to be petty and you signed up for this. And if you don't like it, like,
Whoa. So then maybe I'd go through the list of the flaws that he listed about me, saying like, you signed up for this.
He has
Signed
a
up.
tendency to get mad at people for doing exactly what he's doing.
He's a big,
You see it. You see it in the feeds.
spoiled
It's like
brat baby.
he's mad at Corey in America for having the showmance.
Right.
Yeah, it's fine for him.
He's mad at Corey for being in multiple alliances.
Yeah.
Like the guy's gonna get mad about everything because that's how he handles conflict. He doesn't
It's
stop.
almost.
He doesn't think it through. He just
I
gets
kind
mad.
of hope that all of the big alliances kind of bust up now because there were too many.
Well, they're all gone. I think now you have two, really.
Yeah.
You have
Let's go back to
Felicia,
basics. Let's get
Izzy,
basics.
Blue, Jared, and the rest of the house. That's all.
That House of Cards was gonna fall at some because
Maybe Matt is going to flip over for a week
Matt's
now.
gonna go back over. There's no
But
way.
Jag
Matt
isn't.
can go
Jag's
back.
done. He ain't going back.
Yeah, but it's Jag, so you could tell him one thing, and then he has to feel like he's got to like confer it with somebody else to make sure anything that he feels guilty about, like he can be resolved of.
and he will not lie to them.
He's
Yeah.
so, oh my God, he's the worst player ever. But he's such a wonderful human, but he's not made for the game at all.
Well, what did he say today? And it was like something you'd say if you were cool. And I went, Jag, I love you, dude, but you're not cool.
But
can't
you know
use
what?
That term.
That was the vibe we got from him from the beginning. Like at the very beginning, we're like, oh, he's pretty cool and chill, and like he's gonna be okay. You know,
but it was like
You got too
like a
comfortable.
term that you would expect somebody far more outgoing and like. to
oh no,
use.
I'm not
I
saying
forget what it
that
was.
the term. I'm just saying like he had this vibe about him, like he could just like be kind of.
Yeah, but
I don't
you know
know.
what's funny?
Like
He's,
in a
the
gross way.
last, he's as far from that as possible. He's not chill at all.
I know, but he
He's
seems
not.
like it.
He's like a nervous Nelly.
Yeah.
It really is. Like he's just. Oh, bless his heart.
And you know, and honestly, you know, his one of his best moments, and you know, and I'm not a big fan of the sad, so sad, very sad stories on reality TV, but when he did talk about some of the things he's faced, that was kind of interesting.
Well, it's interesting because
and
it's
I guess because they talked about it, they didn't dwell on it, they didn't make a whole
Right.
piece out of it, you know.
right. But that's a community that probably a lot of us don't know about.
Right. That I guess you don't see all the time, and
Their
don't
numbers.
know a lot
Yep.
about, right?
Yep. And if we're gonna, I feel like there's one more thing I kind of wanted to touch on before we close out our hour here, and just get your guys' opinion, or see if you even felt this way. So this week when we got our veto, or not our veto, but our nominations, and we had the pies. Right. Yeah. And Cam had to put the pie in the faces of the people that were not being nominated. It made me realize something that I don't know what the hell. I'm going to blame it on COVID again for just making my brain mush. But like, we haven't had the key wheel for a long time. And this silly pie brought back some level of suspense. Like I already had a pretty good idea of what he was going to do.
Yeah.
But it brought back like a level of suspense.
Well, see, I already knew because the feeds had spoiled me.
Right.
I didn't watch it live.
But I mean, even as someone who's watching the feeds and you know who they're going to say, you know who they're going to nominate, it's just so boring to watch the CBS cut of it. But then it's like, oh yeah, but there is this like really fun little like over the top intense, suspense that we don't get during that anymore because we don't have that key wheel.
I agree, but the other thing I learned as a man, I didn't know this. If you're going to be pied in the face and you know it's coming, you take off your fake eyelashes.
Yes.
And
your
I
glasses.
didn't know that. I would have never known that. And your fake tooth, apparently. You take that out if you're fully.
Why not?
That shot of her today with that tooth slipping and sliding. I went, no, oh my God, no, why?
It's like a trick.
Why are we showing this?
Help her whistle.
It's a whistling tooth.
I thought it was a missed opportunity for Cam to win some points with those that he wasn't nominating, but also wanted to win more favor with, and asked them, did anybody have a preference for which pie went in their face? Because they were all on slot. That was the other thing this week.
Yes.
And God dang it, if you're
But they didn't. Did they know it at that? Yeah, I guess they did.
Well, yeah. And I think I would have been like, they were already on slot by that point. I think I would have been like, make mine chocolate, and can you put it in my face like really slowly?
Wait, let me open my mouth first.
Here's an interesting fact: is Cam, of course, was not on Slop, and they were saying on the feeds nobody saw him make himself a meal. He never ate. He ate a couple of the snacks, and at the end of his HOH, he was like sharing stuff with the people when they were off Slop.
Is this a callback to his military days? Is this like a band of
We're all
brothers?
we're all in
thing?
we're all in the trenches together situation. Like,
Is
I don't
that
know,
maybe
well,
kind of explain
well,
the Izzy and the pig in the mud? Is it that same kind of thing,
Mhm.
or is it narcissistic and it's about look at how good of a person I am?
No. I think he just didn't want to be down in the kitchen making himself food in front of everybody.
Ah,
'Cause
shit, I
nobody
would.
else could eat.
I've been like,
That's
this
fine,
is
but
so
I
good.
sure would have been up in the
Like,
HOH room.
Dude, I'm having a steak. I'm gonna have two because you all can't have one.
Yep.
Or just fix your food and run upstairs to your bedroom. It's
Yeah.
what my kids do.
I
Who
mean,
wants to see my HOH food?
No. I just got,
I'm really partial to food. I wouldn't be able to do it. Sorry. I don't care who you are. You could be my own kid and I'd be like,
I'm not going to eat it in front of them because that's jerky. But I think I might have to be like, I'm sorry.
I got to make myself a meal, right?
You wait until everybody kind of goes to the other side and you're like, you don't see me. And then like.
And everybody's like so like, and everyone looks kind of sickly. I did notice that in some of the live feeds in the last 24 hours. The first week of all of this, Sari had a cough, like a pretty bad cough. They get COVID tested like every Tuesday, I think. But she had a pretty bad cough and it's moved through the house. And now Corey and Cam are on the coughing
Corey
side.
looked bad tonight. I thought he was gonna like barf.
Well, he's lost a bunch of weight since he's been on Slop. You know, we've discussed last week, he's probably not really getting quality sleep.
And
how can he sleep? How can he sleep? America's on him all night.
This is true. But also when you're not sleeping well and you're super stressed, which it's been stressful for him of late, that messes up with your immune system. So obviously that can make it worse. When you
he's definitely not feeling great. So maybe that's part of the everybody dropping like
stay hydrated, get enough sleep and stay hydrated and stay away from the person who's coughing. Duh.
Well, I don't know. We'll see what I'm so much less excited about this week. But this
David,
what?
Did we get an email this week?
No, as a matter of fact, I've put our email address up, and I don't want anyone to email us because then I got to check it and stuff.
We said that last week.
So that's why I wasn't going to.
If you don't send us an email, it's a clear indication that you're rooting for Jared to win the game.
Yeah, all the Jared fans won't send us emails.
I think they're Cam lovers, is what it is.
They could be Cam lovers. They could be, and they probably like the fucking Eagles too.
Don Henley, baby.
You guys can send an email. And
is Don Henley still alive, right?
I think so.
Okay, well, fuck him. I won't say that about Glenn Frey.
So yeah.
But wait, you wouldn't have said that if he was dead? Right. Hold on. I need to go back. Is that where you draw the line?
I do. I draw the line on my Eagle tape.
I refuse to say bad things about the dead. That's where David got
the dead Eagle members, yes.
It's a firm line. He's not going to cross it.
You know what? That's fine. I like it. I like to know where the boundaries are. We're good.
You know, you have to have an ethos. You have to have a code, and I have one.
Okay.
We don't speak.
And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. But also, not only send us an email, tell David he sucks, or whatever you want to tell us, and then also like and subscribe to our channel so that you can keep up to date. We still have half of a season left of this show, of this particular game. We're not even at the halfway mark. This week will be the halfway mark. That's nuts. So we got lots and lots of time to discuss.
And remember, Sunday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, football delay.
And in my house, that means Monday morning.
Yeah. I'll probably be watching it at work because I'll just
Yep,
be like,
yep.
I don't want to keep clicking.
I mean,
That
no,
is a-
we don't watch things at work. We're all very responsible
And-
employees in our respective jobs. It's fine. We don't
Absolutely.
do that.
Jamie is totally watching it at 1 a.m. Don't even believe.
Well, the problem with the football is that you keep
She'll be on
clicking
the
over.
feeds. She may not
to see
watch
if
the
it's-
episode.
You keep clicking over to see if it started. If is football done and it started, and then inevitably you go back, and then when you do go over at one point, it started. Oh my gosh, you missed the beginning.
Yeah.
That's me.
And I mean, like, I'm gonna be real honest with you. It's football season, so I just really don't turn my
On the
TV
TV?
on Sundays. So
You know, not a lot of reason in Nebraska of late to turn on the TV for football, but they're still doing it.
there you go.
Anyway, all right, guys. Anything else?
No, I think we
No.
covered the lot. We covered the
Boom.
lot.
Then here we go. Then all right. Well, next week we will be back and we'll be discussing all things Jared. I'm sure there will be a plethora of things to complain about. So,
Well, I'll write up a gag list. I'll get it ready.
all right,
Until then,
guys.
I'll be hating the Eagles. I'll be hating Cameron,
He'll still be there.
but I'll be respecting his game a little bit. That hurts. That hurts so badly.
I hate the hair. I approve of the game.
All right,
So
guys.
long.
Bye.
Bye.